Hi everyone, welcome to the visual guide for Anabaseios, the 11th Circle. This is the third of the normal raid encounters made available by patch 6.4 in Final Fantasy XIV, The Dark Throne. The ruling has come in, and there's no divisiveness here. This is the best boss of the tier. It just is. Here to pull you out of the dark and into the light, my name is Mystek and I'll be your raid guide. Eunomia will deal high raid-wide damage and apply a 9-second bleed to all players. Healers be ready with those shields and heals. The boss will leap into the center and begin to cast Divisive Ruling, splitting the platform in half with a long line attack. During this cast, all players will need to pay attention to the color of the cast. These dark purple circles indicate that the line attack will be immediately followed by an attack that targets the opposite area of the initial attack. To handle this, players must first dodge the line attack and then immediately move into the center to avoid the second attack targeting the outer edges. These light yellow circles indicate that the line attack will immediately be followed by a thicker version of the initial attack. To avoid this, players must move away from the initial attack to avoid the second, wider attack. Luckily for melee players, the thickness of the second attack is about the same as max melee range, so you don't have to go too far to avoid it. From here on out, the boss will turn into a random direction before casting Divisive Ruling, with a random light or dark animation, so players will need to adjust appropriately based on the direction and the type of incoming cast. The boss will eventually cast Dark and Light, forming two puddles on the platform. Sigils of Discord will then mark up all players of the same role group with either a light or dark Discord debuff. Players will need to immediately identify their debuff and move into the puddle of the opposite element to survive the next set of mechanics. The boss will also throw out individual attacks on players not actively in a puddle or in the wrong puddle, dealing high damage and applying a stacking debuff, so make sure you get to the appropriate puddle ASAP. Denace will form circle attacks under each player. To avoid covering their safe puddle with poop, players can stack to bait these puddles before moving away from them, all while staying within their safe puddle. The boss will then cast Emissary's Will, killing any player not in the appropriate puddle. At this point, the dark and light puddles and debuffs will disappear. Dismissal Ruling will knock back all players from the center of the platform. Use a knockback immunity or pre-position to avoid getting knocked into the wall. During this cast, players will again need to look at the color of the circles around the boss to determine what secondary attack will immediately follow. The dark purple circles will form a room-wide donut that players will need to move into the boss's hitbox to avoid. The light yellow circles will form a point-blank circle AoE that players must stay at max melee to avoid. DK will target both tanks for high damage, cooldown, and heal as necessary. During the next dark and light puddle phase, the boss will cast Dismissal Ruling. Players can use knockback immunities or stand on the center edge of their safe puddle to remain inside the puddle after the knockback. Make sure to identify the color of the circles during the cast and move in or out appropriately for the secondary attack, all while staying within your puddle. Next up, Upheld Ruling will target a tank with this tethered massive circle tank buster. This cast will also have the secondary dark purple ring effect on it, so players will need to be ready to run into the boss's hitbox after the tank buster. The affected tank can move away to avoid hitting anyone else with the tank buster, while the rest of the raid waits close by to run in immediately after. The next Upheld Ruling will target a random non-tank player with a stack up marker. This cast will also have the secondary light yellow ring effect on it. To handle this, players will first stack to share the damage on the tethered player, and then all be ready to immediately run away from the boss to avoid the incoming point-blank AoE circle. Sticks will target a healer for another stack up marker, and players must stand together to share the incoming damage. This attack will deal multiple hits of raid-wide damage, so be sure to mitigate and heal as necessary. During the next dark and light puddle phase, the boss will cast Divisive Ruling through the center of the platform. Pay close attention to the colors of the rings and be ready to dodge appropriately within the confines of your safe puddle. These mechanics will all begin to repeat with some overlap. Make sure you pay extra attention to the dark or light circles around the boss during each cast to adjust appropriately for each mechanic. Shadowed Messengers will form two clones on the outer edge of the platform that will each cast Divisive Ruling. Each clone will have their own set of dark or light circles during their cast, so make sure you identify each one and dodge appropriately, moving away from the light yellow attack and being ready to move into the dark purple attack. Immediately after, the boss will cast Blinding Light through the center and then mark up all players with spread AoE markers. Avoid that first center attack and then spread apart to avoid overlapping. These mechanics will continue to repeat with some overlap until the boss is down. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know. Up next, we head into the 12th Circle. As always, thanks for watching. Till next time.